Alright, hello and welcome everyone. I am Rorschach with the Game Reactionists, and I am going to do the first ever walkthrough guide of a trophy in a video game, specifically how to get the big boss rank in Metal Gear Solid 2 Sons of Liberty in the Master Collection. There are various different guides out there for this. I definitely used one of those guides for myself, but for fans of the channel, we hope that you use our guide. Takes a lot of trial and error, so be prepared to possibly restart your game. But the requirements to getting the big boss rank in Metal Gear Solid 2 are: you need to complete the game on extreme difficulty in under 3 hours with 0 continues, 0 kills, 0 rations, a maximum of 3 alerts, 8 or fewer saves, radar turned off, with 700 shots fired or less, and you can only destroy up to 60 pieces of electronic equipment. That includes like your surveillance cameras, your cipher cameras on the plant chapter, the gun turrets, and the Metal Gear Rays during the Metal Gear Ray boss portion of the game. So what I'm doing is basically I'm going through I did this live for the channel, so I'm going to go through and just watch the portion and go through the portions where I was successful, talk through on what needs to be done. Hopefully this does well for the channel. Hopefully players find this useful. If you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bells so that you're aware of when we upload new content. And let us know in the comments below if you want to see more of this style of video from the channel in terms of these walkthroughs. So, and you'll see here of me going through the cutscene. So you're basically going to skip every cutscene, every codec call. I know you're maybe upset about that, you know, because you're missing out on good stuff. And I don't have any game audio because I am just basically going through the game. So the first thing you want to do right out the gate is you're going to just run. You're going to run straight past this guy, sneak behind him, and open up your door here. Now, when you get through this door, you're going to wait a few seconds, maybe count like to 3, and then move. You're going to run to this guy, hold him up, or actually you're going to somersault him. If you do it successfully, you'll be able to get through this door here without him alerting anybody. So you'll skip this cutscene too. Take out these guys right here, and then you're going to move forward. Run up the stairs, go through the quarters, skip this scene here, and you'll just be able to sneak right past him from behind. Keep moving. Timing is key on this. Skip the scene with the camera, and then this portion, you're just going to wait a little bit for the camera to turn around, and then you're going to move forward again. You're going to ignore that guard, ignore this, take him out, and then run upstairs. You'll skip these scenes here. You'll hear the noise, and this is where you're going to have your first boss fight of the game. And there is a little bit of a cheese here. And I learned about this cheese for the first time playing through this. Throughout the years I played Metal Gear, but if you crouch right here, and if you get that little cutscene you just saw, that means you're successfully crouched and the cheese will work for you. So you're going to have Olga running back and forth. She's going to do her cutscenes where she, you know, gives you exposition. And she's going to run through again. And then you're just going to look for that little bit of her foot that appears. She'll just keep going back and forth. And then you just keep shooting her foot. So she'll run back, come back again, shoot her foot again. she does a little bit more exposition here. Keep shooting her foot. Again, this is a war of attrition and just waiting it out. Now, this took me many times to get the angle just right, but again, if you're crouched here, looking through that little peephole, and you'll just keep shooting her. Now, if you're running low on ammo, there are ammo grabs here. Now, if you do that, though, you'll kind of disrupt the timing and her, aiming at you. If you do this to grab your ammo, and I do recommend doing that because having those extra bullets can really help you out, especially in the portion of the tanker where you have to fight the Grulukovich soldiers before you get into the Commandant's speech holds. You want to have as many bullets as you can, but she'll start to lob grenades at you, so you kind of just like let her lob them. As you can see, you miss a couple shots there. Still doing good on ammo. At this point, I'm at 29 out of 46, and she's going to shoot this curtain off. Now she's going to start doing the light blinding. But at this point, if you do it right, if you have your timing down properly, then you'll be fine. It's important to make sure you grab that ammo during the boss fight if you feel you're going to need it, because if you don't grab it, it will no longer be available for you to grab. So, and in this portion, I played it safe wherever I could. So here you're going to see me grab the thermal goggles, as well as the or maybe not the thermal goggles, but the suppressor for the USP. And then you'll want that just because there are the portions where you have to shoot out the bombs in order to get into the lower holds. And again, anything to mitigate any noise you're potentially making or anything like that. Oh, and additionally, with regards to the requirements, you can't use any special items. So no stealth can be used, no bandana, none of Raiden's many different wigs. None of that can be used. So at this point, you've completed the Olga boss fight. You're going to go back down into the holds. You're going to run through. You're going to come back down. This time you'll have a soldier in this area. I go back a little bit, take him out, and then wait for the camera to move. Avoid shooting surveillance equipment when you can. So you'll get back over here. You'll wait a second for that one soldier patrolling until you see his shadow. And then once his shadow disappears, he's going back the other way. So you'll somersault into him. And then you'll go back through. In this portion, I believe I botched a few times. And then you shoot the glass here to kind of get the attention of the other guard. Depending on where he is, you may not get it. So he sees the shot glass. Now he sees his downed comrade. So I've already shot him with a tranq, so he should be sleeping. Double check that. Make sure that, you don't mess up where you can't. Or, make sure that if you tranq your enemy guards, that you do so. So now we're down in the engine room. You'll skip this cutscene here. Ignore that guy. You're going to run on down. Hide in the shadows here for the other guy to start patrolling again. Now what I did is I just jumped here and I fell, so I have that pillar obscuring me from the other guard. Now another thing to keep in mind too is when you're outside on extreme difficulty, Snake can catch a cold. And he will sneeze on occasion, and if he does, and if there's a guard nearby, They will hear it and they will investigate. So you'll just want to make sure that you're kind of moving along as quickly as you can. Take out those 2 guards, move forward. Grab yourself some ammo. Now again, the lethal ammo won't really do much for you, aside from if you're taking out surveillance equipment. So come back here, wait for this guy to come back out. Once he's out, shoot him before he can radio what's going on. And then here, you're going to take out the modules that are linked to the Semtex. So there are 3 of them to shoot on extreme difficulty. You saw the first one. When you hold your trigger buttons, that causes Snake to stand on his tippy toes, essentially. Proceed through here. And there are key points to utilize your saves that you can have. And so I will demonstrate those points of save as well. So in the Tanker chapter, you shouldn't be saving at all. You'll wait for this guard walking here, and you'll take him out with the M9. There's going to be another guard that comes by. He's listening to music. Once he comes by, you can hold him up. Put him to sleep. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. By the 5th hold, you should see this guy. So you'll take him out. Now at this point, I'm at 17 bullets for the M9. Come back here, you'll find more bullets for the M9. So at this point, I have 32 bullets. Okay, so that's a good position to be in for this portion of the game, for this next quote-unquote boss fight. So you come here, you'll skip this cutscene, and then you'll have these guys shooting at you. And so this one is just a matter of trying to aim as best as you can, as quickly as you can, to take these guys out as fast as you can. Once you do that, then you will end this portion. As you can see, they come out quite frequently. So now you're going to get the last 3 enemies, and they're all going to pretty much line up in a row for you. So you're just going to shoot them, and then that's it. When you get down to the orange bar, if you crouch, you'll heal up until you get back to the blue portion. It doesn't heal you all the way, but that is a tip if you get down to that orange bar. So now we're in the tanker holds themselves. This is where you're gonna proceed through to the 3rd hold, and you got to take pictures of Metal Gear Ray before finishing the tanker section. So there are many different ways you can do this. If you happen to have full health, you can shimmy over this rail that I'm climbing away from currently, and you can remain on the upper portion of the game. Come down here. You'll take out this guy here. Make sure you lay down, crawl across, so you don't get spotted by the camera that's displaying the speech of the Commandant. Walk slowly across these grates as they make noise, and if they make noise, then that will alert the guards. There is one guard that's patrolling over here. You can kind of see him towards the upper right-hand screen. And he hangs out. Wait for him to come back into your line of sight. There he is. Back up a little bit if you have to. Take him out. And then walk slowly across the grates. Make sure that you are completely clear of the grates before deciding to run again. Hold number 2. This is an easy skip. You can just open up right here. Crawl down below. You don't have to worry about any of the guards up above. And you'll just crawl through the ventilation system to get to the 3rd hold. Guard will drop a magazine. You'll just wait for this interaction to come out. And Once that's completed, then you can crawl through without worrying about being spotted. You can run through here. You can save yourself a couple seconds if you'd like. And you'll keep crawling and crawling like a snake on its belly. Always, I never trust the RNG of video games. So just when you're passing through those vent spots, you know, make sure you're double checking that and make sure that no guards are gonna be looking down below at you or anything. So here's one of the entry points to the Metal Gear Ray area. There's gonna be one more air duct you crawl through. You'll climb up here as Snake. This is where you're going to start taking pictures. There are going to be guards on patrol as well, so you're going to want to make sure you're avoiding them. And there's a little Easter egg of revolver ocelots. You can take a picture of that on occasion, and if you do, it triggers a fun little quip between yourself and Otacon when you're submitting pictures to him. So the first thing we're going to do is you have that guard patrolling there. We're going to go ahead and take him out. We got our picture of the Marines logo, so you're going to take that. There's a total of 4 pictures you have to do at this portion of the game. So we've taken 1. You come back here, you do your front left or front right. You do your photo in the middle. And then you do front left. You're going to go over to your computer here and start to submit the photos to Otacon. Now, this is not going to be in a portion where you save. So you do have to wait for this portion here. There's no way to skip this. And then this is where you'll just be doing the submission of the photos for Otacon. So you'll skip all these cutscenes here. Pretty cool cutscenes though, but you are not going to save. This is not your first recommended save. So now you are playing as Raiden. You're going to skip all these cutscenes. You do not get any weapons with Raiden when you first start this portion of the game. In the easier difficulties, you can find an M9 in the pool area. You do not get that option. And so you're going to go ahead and proceed through. Now you see me aiming there. You can do what's called a crotch punch. And if you do it properly, you will stun an enemy. You won't make them go to sleep, but you'll stun them. And you'll see it carried out here shortly. So this is where you're inputting your information with the nodes. Did you say nerd? No, node. You'll get another codec call here. Skip through that. And then the elevator will start to come down. the guards here are going to start waking up. And there's a total of 3 guards. So there's the first 2 up there. You come back to this back area, and there's this guy right here. So this guy is the one you want to take care of first with the crotch punch. So he's going to wake up shortly. Get up pretty close to him. Go in the, do a chokehold on him a little bit. As you can see, clearly I botched that. Do a chokehold again, and then there you go. There's your crotch punch. You can do it from the front or behind, and then that'll knock him out. So with this guy, you saw him patrolling on my left. Once the elevator is down, make some noise, get this guard's attention. Once he's coming over here, and then you have that guard right there. So somersault into him, the other guard is distracted, and then you're just going to run up to the elevator, and then that'll avoid any potential alert system there. So you're going to get more cutscenes, more codec calls, you're going to skip all these. You can grab these bandages if you'd like. Anytime you see any equipment or items lying around, just grab them. They will be useful. Especially stun grenades. Those are useful much later on toward the end of the game. So then you had some dialogue with a couple of guards, more cutscenes, more codec calls. This guy, you just run here. You can activate this if you want. You don't have to, because it doesn't really do anything for you since the radar is turned off. Proceed through here. You're going to get to the AB connecting bridge. And we're approaching pretty soon here one of the first saves you can make. You're going to somersault over the grates here as they do make noise, and then I just jump over the rail, wait for this guard to turn back around so he starts patrolling. And he takes a little bit of a while before he'll move around, but you have plenty of grip level strength. You're not at the risk of running out of anything. So once he moves back, you can shimmy on over. Again, do not pull yourself up over the rail and land on the grates. It makes noise. You don't want to cause any unnecessary attention or alerts to yourself. Now you're in Strip B. This is where you're going to see Vamp and encounter him for the first time. And then you're going to run through here. Now you have a gun. You have the SOCOM. Not all that useful other than taking out surveillance equipment. But you have a weapon. You're going to get another codex. Now you can... This is one of the first recommended saves. You can save there if you want. I opted not to, because I knew that there really wasn't much in terms of enemy encountering that I'd have to worry about. So I actually saved my first save, and it's coming up here. We got some chaff grenades. You pick up those. Those will also be useful. You can proceed to Strut C. This is where you will meet Peter Stillman, and you'll be given the mission for the bomb disposal. So you have more cutscenes here, more codec calls to skip. Skip all of this stuff, because chances are if you're going for this ranking, you know all about how to use the coolant spray and the bombs and all that. So you still have no radar. You're going to run through. There are guards on patrol. So this first guard here should be coming up right there. So this one, kind of sneak around him, do a crotch shot. Oh, looks like I botched it there. So ideally, you would successfully do a crotch shot. This guy putting up a fight. He did not want to get punched in the nuts, and I don't blame him. Now he's stunned, and so now you can defuse your first bomb. Once you defuse your first bomb, you'll have a Kodak call with Peter Stillman. And then anytime you stun anybody, if you leave the area, you will get an opportunity to reset them. And this is the first save that I took. So this is your first save. At this point, you'll probably see on the game here. So at this point, I'm at 23 minutes in. So that's 23 minutes. And now that we have our first save, we're going to proceed forward with the next portion of the game. Alright, so we've completed our first save. Now we're on the BC connecting bridge. There is a cipher here. You can take that out. So now we're doing the bomb disposal run of the game. So this one, your next save will be up to the Fatman boss fight. And you'll see some commentary from people who are watching me do this live in the bottom left-hand corner. But your first bomb in strut B is right down here. And then you'll continue down. There are a couple of there is a guard patrolling and cameras. So you're going to be careful of that. And then you'll get to the AB connecting bridge. You'll come out here. You go in first person. You'll see that guard patrolling. You're going to wait till he turns around. And then you're going to leave. Somersault over here. Hold him up. Crotch punch him. To stun him. And then you're going to get over to strut A. Now there are a total of 2 bombs on strut A. There's one on the roof. And then there's one in the pump room itself. So we're going to go to the roof first. You'll come over to this far side. You'll see this guard patrolling. Hold him up. Crotch punch him to stun him. And then your bomb will be right here. Now, I do recommend, if you aren't completely familiar with the game as I am, to have your bomb sensor equipped so that you can see the blemishes on the radar area of where the bomb should be approximately. So then we'll be in the pump room. We'll hold up this guy. Now there is a cheese, apparently, to do this to not crawl as much to get to the bomb. I couldn't figure it out, but you can definitely do this in under 3 hours without doing all the cheeses that exist for the game. For this guy, once you crotch punch him, you're going to bring him over to this locker. You're going to put him away in the locker so he doesn't wake up and radio his friends for help. If they are stunned and you put them in the locker, they'll stay in the locker. They don't come out. So you'll crawl through here. Apparently there's some timing when you go into first person mode and stand up underneath a pipe or something like that. You can reach the bomb from this side without having to crawl all the way over. Again, while timing is of the essence, this game can be beaten in under 2 hours, truthfully speaking. So 3 hours, I think, is more than enough time. So we've taken care of all the bombs in strut A. And now we're going to head over to strut F. Now, some people have you go, when you start out in strut C for the bomb sequence, some people have you go to strut D. It really doesn't matter which route you take, but this is the route that I was most comfortable with. And so, plus you'll get a chance to get your M9. So here you're going to crouch. There's a cipher. So you're going to come outside. You're going to crouch a little bit. Wait for this cipher to finish its patrolling. So it's going to come over here, and then it's going to go down to the lower level because there is a lower level to this bridge. Once it goes all the way down, you can go up. You'll see the guard here. We're not going to worry about him. Now, there are a couple of things to do in this area before you actually proceed with the bomb disposal. So you're going to let him go back. This guard, he radios in frequently for help. Here's your M9. And then we're going to reset the paths of everybody by going out and then coming right back in. So you'll stand off a little bit to the side here. You'll wait till you see his head and you'll shoot him in the head and take him out. You'll see his buddy over there. You're going to take him out. You got this guy down here. You're going to wait till he comes back up in this area. You're going to stand on your tippy toes to get a clear shot of his head. You're going to shoot him. You're going to wait a couple more seconds too, because there is another guard who will come inspect him while he's sleeping on the job. And then you're going to take him out right away too. So that's the way I did it. You have your bomb here. Take care of your bomb. And then what I did is I went for the SOCOM suppressor, as well as the cardboard box, because there is a portion where the cardboard box is useful for you. So at this point, the communications tower is wondering why the one soldier hasn't radioed in. They're going to send people to investigate. Equip your suppressor. You'll have your mine detector here as well. So go ahead and grab that since it's right there. You'll get some more ammo for the SOCOM. And then you'll just run up the stairs. And then you'll come outside. So now we're at strut EF. You'll get another codec call. You're going to ignore that. Obviously, skip all codec calls, skip all cutscenes. You're going to drop a chaff grenade. I recommend taking this guy out. There's no sense in taking a risk. Because he has binoculars and he can spot you. There are ways to avoid it, but this is the easiest way. You'll do a somersault and then hold your X button as you're somersaulting. You see the route I take there to avoid any additional claymores. You'll just run across. And then you'll come inside here. So this guy, you want to take him out right away. And then you have quite a few cameras to take out. So you got 1. And then 2. And then you have a soldier right there. You take care of him. Crouch that other guy. At this point, they've spotted me, so they're radioing in for help. Shoot out these cameras. And then I've reset it here. So anytime an alert is triggered, the alert status didn't go off, but the communications tower is wondering what's going on. And so I've just reset the path of everything. Everybody is still asleep. There are a total of 3 cameras. And now you're going to wait here for the bomb that comes on the conveyor belts. So you got 1 package. And then here's your bomb. Just keep holding it. Stay with it. Don't worry about not being in range. You can grab this other cardboard box just so you have a couple on hand. There is another bomb on the heliport pad. So you're going to skip these cutscenes here. You're going to somersault between the crates here so the guards patrolling can't see you. You're going to come down, pull out your coolant, defuse this bomb here by the Harrier. You get another codec conversation. You're going to go ahead and skip through that. Unequip your stuff. You're going to run over to this far side. somebody has seen you. They're coming to investigate, but you're not at risk of alerting. Somersault between the crates again, and then just come all the way back down. You'll go ahead and somersault down. These guys are still sleeping. All the cameras are taken care of. Remember, 3 cameras are in this area. You want to take out those cameras. And then for this guy, you're just going to go ahead, run all the way through, because there is somebody above you in strut E that's also using binoculars to patrol. Now we're in strut D. So there are a total of 4 guards here. So you can take out these first 3 up top. But there is one that radios in frequently to check in. Now, you can drop, and if you drop, you got to mash your action button to grab the railing below you. So you're going to grab this first bomb here. There are a total of 3 bombs. You can take out this guy. You'll run up. The other bomb is right underneath here, under these stairs. And now at this point, communications is wondering why he hasn't checked in. You're going to go ahead and go out, just reset, but there is still one more bomb to get after. If you want, you can shoot out this camera. I recommend doing it. You'll come back in, and then you can drop down here, grab your ammo. And then this is your 3rd bomb for strut D. So now you have to go and get the special sensor. Get those M9 bullets. And we're going to make our way back to strut C. You got this one guy here. You can take him out. You're going to run across. So now you have to get back to strut A. You are on a timer here. You have 200 seconds. Realistically, that's plenty of time. And you're just going to keep going. There may be another cipher here, and it's back, so you're going to go ahead and take that out. You're going to keep going to strut B. Now the guards will be patrolling in strut B as well. And then they still have the camera. So you're going to go inside here. You'll see the one guard. Take him out right away. And then proceed forward. Do not go down that path there. That's where the cameras are. Those I don't bother shooting because they're easy to avoid. This guy you can take out. Make our way to strut A roof. The elevator will be there for you, and you'll go down the elevator. So now we're going to get the last bomb of the bomb portion. Now remember, we still haven't saved, and you don't want to do that. You want to save your saves. So there's no guards in here to worry about. The stage is set for the Fortune boss fight. quote-unquote boss fight. On extreme mode, the bomb is over here. Now this is where your cardboard box is going to come in handy. You'll have a codec call. You're going to ignore that, obviously. Accidentally jumped into the pool there. Go ahead and climb back up. So make sure you have your cardboard box ready to go. So, and all you're doing is waiting for... Sorry about that. All you're doing is waiting for her to shoot. She shoots in rapid fire succession. All you're doing is going back and forth while wearing your cardboard box. There's some frame protection. Avoid the debris falling from the ceiling as it can hit you. And then she does take a moment to reload. So when she reloads, make sure you're running the entirety of the arena. But when she shoots, you should be switching directions. So every time she shoots, switch directions. And at this point, the elevator is coming down. She's reloading, so I'm running the entirety of the entire length of the arena. So that time I took a hit. But now I'm at the point where she's just shooting random things to end this portion of the game. And that's it. That's the Fortune boss fight. Now, you saw that I took damage. If you have no rations at the end of every boss encounter, if you have no rations but took damage, when you complete the boss encounter, you should have full health. Now there are claymores here, so you're going to make sure you lay down, collect those. Now you got to make your way to strut E. So yeah, as you see, I had full health. I clearly forgot about that guy. So there is that enemy there. Just CQC him and then run out so that he can't call for backup. There's the one enemy patrolling. He's going downstairs though, so you can just run across. And then we'll do more of the same here. We're only going to take care of the top two guys up here. So that one spotted me. I'm going to let him come investigate. And then I'm just going to move forward. Take out your chaff grenade because there's still the gun turrets out here. And then I always recommend taking this guy out. And you'll hear the indicator of him being hit by your trank when he falls asleep. And we're approaching the Fatman boss fight. Now this boss fight is quite annoying. You take out that guy. You're going to wait here because the other guy by the stairs, he's going to come down. We're going to go ahead and ignore him. And make our way to the heliport of strut E. Grab yourself some ammo. You'll see another box there. You can grab it if you want, but you really don't need it at this point. You defuse this bomb, and that'll trigger the boss fight with Fatman. So the boss fight with Fatman, he is rather difficult. Now you can play it safe and save here. I had many trial and errors. And so this will be where you save. So that way you're done with the bomb portion of the game. And then from here, now we're going to continue proceeding with the Fatman fight. Now, one thing to keep in mind with regards to the Fatman fight is just try to stay on top of him and the bombs. So you're going to first defuse this first bomb when it starts. And then you'll have an opportunity to down Fatman here. So you're going to take that opportunity, down him. You want to take care of this bomb right away. By the time you take care of this bomb after you've downed him, you should be able to get a shot off on him. And then you can shoot his foot here, and that'll down him again. And if you're quick enough, you'll be able to get 2 shots off on his head. Now, because you have to use the SOCOM bullets here to down him, there are a couple of ammo caches, so you got to make sure you're aware of those. Don't worry about the bombs until the timer starts if you can. Otherwise, you'll spend too much time chasing Fatman and bombs. So after this shot, it should be a matter... He should hit the timer for the bombs. So there we go. We got the bomb timer here. Take care of what he's planted. And you don't have a lot of time, so you got to be quick. Fatman will always hang out on the last bomb. Like right by the last bomb, and you'll see even here I got it like right at the wire. Grab those stun grenades too, because again you're gonna need stun grenades for later on. I have noticed too he does like this weird like freak out spin move, so I think that's just a game bug. See, there it is again. He's like going Super Saiyan mode. And timer should be here. Now, he only got 1 bomb off, so I'm going to let him catch up to me a little bit. Because he will always come hang out at the last bomb. And this time I had a pretty good amount on my timer. So I got a shot on him first. Grab the ammo. You want to make sure you unequip and equip your gun quickly so you can do like a auto reload. And then you'll just chase him around. Grab ammo where you can. And then if he plants a bomb, as you defeat him, you don't have to worry about any bomb he plants. So at this point, we're still at 2 saves. And then you defuse that last bomb. You're going to skip these cutscenes and codec calls here. Now you're going to do the infiltration as an enemy soldier. You're going to skip all this stuff. You're going to be given the Grulukovich soldier's outfit after these cutscenes. But we have to go get the AK. So we're going to go, once all this stuff is finished up, you're going to go to Strut F, equip the soldier's outfit right away. It does help with camouflage, actually. And again, you'll notice I took some hits during that Fatman fight, but my health bar is replenished. So you're going to take care of this guy down here. equip your cardboard box. You're going to run through. Equip a chaff grenade right away, too. So you're going to drop that. You're going to wait a second. Let that explode. Once it explodes, you're going to move. And you're going to pick up that last claymore that you might have missed previously down that middle way, so you can just run straight through. When you get down here in the strut F, you're going to do a CQC. That's for timing purposes. Aerial down the stairs. Sorry, I'm losing my voice. That guy saw me, so he's radioing for help. If sometimes you can be quick enough to shoot him, and if you are quick enough, then he'll be down. You get your AK. At this point, the enemy soldiers are coming by. You can't, even if you have the AK, you can't be seen outside of this area. They'll view it as like you're not supposed to be here. So if you get caught and there's a patrol coming, then you'll let them come through. And I was extra safe. I just waited it out. They're going to see him sleeping because I tranquilized him. If you tranquilize them, even if you're caught, nothing will happen. They'll just kick him awake. They'll leave the premises. And then at this point, I'm waiting for, I can hear their footsteps. So I'm waiting for the footsteps to get further away. And then he's going to patrol. I'll wait till he turns around, which should be any second now. Okay, so at this point I decided to just leave when he turned his head away. Now that you've got the AK, I just shot these turrets out. You're going to move through that bottom left portion. You're going to aerial across the bridge here because those pieces of the bridge do fall under. And now you're in the core. So you got some safety here. You got a little bit of room to breathe. As long as you have your costume on and the AK equipped, nobody's going to mess with you. So I took some time to gather some materials in here. There's a chaff grenade there. And then over here, there'll be some ammo. And it's very important that you always have your AK and BDU equipped. I can't stress that enough, because if you have any of those missing, the cameras will spot you and then you'll get an alert phase, and you don't want that. So for this portion, again, you can run through. I just ran all the way through. You're going to grab the directional mic. Be sure not to bump into these guys. If you bump into them or run through them, that will unequip your BDU and cause an alert phase. But this area is clear. So you're going to go through, and now we're going to go into the basement 1 floor of the core. And so what you do here, you're going to get out of the elevator. You'll see a cutscene of the retinal scan being used. Knock on the wall there. That'll get the attention of one of the guards on inside. There's 3 of them. You're going to let him inspect. You're going to unequip your AK and then just CQC grab him, and then you'll be in there. So, and this is where you are going to be looking for Director Ames. So you're just looking for... He's a bald guy. And I think he's... You know, the game, it's an RNG. Or no, he's not a bald guy. He's got a mullet, though. So it's an RNG of where he will be in this arena. And it changes every time. But you want to make sure... As you can see, there's a lot of guards patrolling here. Even if you have your directional mic out... you know, you want to make sure that there's nobody near you, because there is a split second where if they're close enough to you, they will come through and they will investigate you, and that'll cause a game over. So now that it's pretty much cleared away, you know, you're going to initiate your contact with aims. You'll skip these cutscenes and codec calls. You know, at this portion, you know, make sure you're going to equip your AK again. And now you'll be in a caution phase. So you've lost your face mask for the BDU. And so now everybody's on an alert. So you're going to knock on that wall to get that guard's attention. He's going to come through. Go ahead and shoot him. And we have to escape the core. Now this one is, again, it's about timing on this portion. So you're going to want to make sure when you get to the first floor, you have a chaff grenade ready to be equipped. And as soon as it loads back in, you're going to throw your chaff grenade right away. You're going to go outside, throw it, and just keep running. And you're going to hide under this camera. And this camera is going to, if you got the timing right, by the time you get there, even if the camera spots you, the chaff grenade will have exploded, and then you will be able to get out. So I got this guy's attention here. Take him out. Grab this ammo. And now you're on the EF connecting bridge. So you're going to wait here. You're going to count to about 7 seconds. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then you're going to take out these Cypher gun turrets. There is that enemy soldier way up top still. So you want to take care of him as well. Now again, if you're counting the I'm being rather liberal with regards to the amount of surveillance cameras. When you get down over here, there's that gun turret there. You want to make sure you're crouched by the stairs until it passes by. You're going to go down. We're going to go back to strut F, because now we have to get the PSG-1. And you need to get the PSG-1T for the Twilight section for Vamp. Now, right now, we're still in the caution phase from the core. So we still have some additional enemy patrols here. We're going to take out that guy right there. So now the phase is over. Okay? You're going to run straight through. Head inside this room here to get your PSG-1 and the PSG-1T. And then we're going to head back out. Now, I was extra cautious here. Check your corners. You know, check for anybody still patrolling around. So you'll see that that guard who radios in, he found the other guard who's sleeping. He kicked him awake. And so I'm going to wait till he starts patrolling again, and then I'm going to leave. So we're doing nothing else here in this room. We've got our tranquilizer sniper rifle and our regular sniper rifle. Now we're going to head to strut D. So the gun turrets are back. Take care of those. And you'll see that the one guard up top, he's still sleeping. So we're good on that. And me not taking any chances, obviously I'm going to take care of all the gun turrets. And you're going to keep on moving. Now you'll see I forgot a claymore. And the game, graciously forgave my mishap, and that other claymore could have easily taken me out as well. So you're going to have your cardboard box ready to go. Or excuse me, your BDU. Now these guards are still going to be up. They're going to be up again. But I'm going to just have my cardboard box, wait till he patrols, and I'm going to just run all the way across. And you're going to keep going. You're going to get spotted, but just keep moving, and you'll be able to get out before they can radio any help and cause an alert. And again, we're going to run across the bridge here really quickly to avoid the patrol up on top of Strut E, and now we're in Strut D. And now we're approaching the sniper section of the connecting bridge between the Shell 1 and 2 cores. So you're going to get a codec call, skip all that. You're going to skip this. And then this is where, if you want to be conservative, you can have your third save. So, if you save here, then you'll be good for the Harrier fight. And I do recommend doing this, saving here for the Harrier before the Harrier fight, because if you screw up the Harrier fight, you got to do everything, including the Fatman boss fight. And that Fatman boss fight, I learned through enough trial and error, can be rather annoying. So we've got our third save now. And now we're going to move on to the Harrier fight. I suppose I should have prefaced first, too. We're not quite doing the Harrier fight. First, we got to destroy the electric terminals before engaging the Harrier fight. So there's quite a few here. You'll take care of these first ones up front, right with your SOCOM pistol. Make sure you're not shooting any of the Semtex. Make sure your shots are clean and focused in on. You'll get this one down by the stairs. You'll have this one over on the side there. And you'll see the sparks come out of it, indicating that you've successfully shot it. You got the gaggle of pigeons there, or seagulls rather. But pretty much all of these can be shot and dealt with your SOCOM. The only one you need your sniper rifle for are the ones on top of the Cypher cameras. And you got to be very careful here. If you shoot the Cypher cameras, that will cause a failure. So make sure that you're not, shooting recklessly. And you'll shoot that one down here. And there is a fun cheese with regards to the Harrier fight, too. So the BDU you can equip just for camouflage purposes, because after the Harrier fight, you got to go through the outskirts of a couple of shell buildings, so it will help you there. But we got the Harrier fight, so you're gonna you grab your Stinger and you let loose. If you're lucky enough, you can get 3, maybe even 4 shots right out the gate. And then you're going to always follow the exhaust trail to get an idea of where the Harrier is going to go and where he's going to be shooting again. I utilize these rails many times to jump over to avoid either his tracker missiles or even the bullets. But you're just going to follow him through, shoot him. And, if you do this well enough, you can get about, 4, maybe 5 shots. I have done it once where it was 5 shots. So you get him again there. So now he's going to get ready to drop a payload on you. And you listen, you can't hear the audio, but you listen to the sound of the payload. Once you start seeing things like blowing up and stuff, I just use the rail to leap over it to avoid any potential damage. Now, of course, you do have to worry about Snake getting in your way. He does launch tracker missiles at that point too, but you can get 2 shots if you're lucky. And so now it comes the fun part where he just berates you with a bunch of missiles. So here comes your first cheese. You're going to go back by the stairs. You're going to press up against the stairs, and then you're going to shoot 1 bullet at a time. And it gives you invincibility frames. So no matter what he's doing, you just shoot your 1 bullet at a time. Don't keep mashing square because you'll stay in the same position and then you can get hit. So you shoot your bullet, let go of the shot, wait till you revert back to your previous position, and then keep going, keep doing it repeatedly from there. And so you'll launch another missile at him. And then now he's going to come around and he's going to berate you with bullet fire. So here I just drop down like so, and then crouch behind this air duct or this power generator of sorts. And I just move back and forth based on his position. You know, if he's on that side of the screen, you want to go the opposite side. And you just hang around here. Now there are times that the Harrier will switch sides, and then you'll just have to get up and go to the other side of the generator. But once he does that, you'll go back upstairs, re-equip your stinger. You're going to look for where he's going. And as stated, there's Snake right on cue, getting in the way, preventing me from getting a shot. And that's, you know, that is what it is. So you'll just continue to shoot him here. You'll get another missile barrage. So again, you just get into your little cheese spot. Do your 1 shot at a time until the missiles are done going. Once the missiles are done going, you re-equip your stinger. You'll get a couple more shots on them. And as you can see, he's got like a sliver of health. So this one, if you run out of ammo, Snake does drop ammo down for you to grab. But you'll shoot that. And then that's the end of the Harrier fight. You'll skip the cutscenes and codec calls. You're not going to save here. Do not save after the Harrier fight. If you burn a save here, you miss out on a save later on in the game, and it's important. So if you follow the save pattern that I did, you'll be fine. Now there's a couple of different ways that you can proceed forward here. I always take this way. Now you can, if you want, continue all the way up down this pipe, and then you just climb up that other container. But I like to shimmy over here, grab the PSG-1 bullets, and then there is a suppressor for the AK as well. So you grab that. Obviously, you got to make sure you get rid of the flames here, so you know you can actually get to the suppressor. And you'll do that with your coolant spray. Once you've done that, pick up your bullets, attach your suppressor to the AK, and that's just helpful for if you're taking down gun turrets that appear later in the game. And then you'll notice that I equipped a chaff grenade and unequipped it. And so you'll see why in a moment. These guys will come out. They'll start talking. You're going to jump over the rail. You're going to move right away and jump over the rail. And you're going to keep going all the way across. You don't have to worry about being seen. Have your BDU equipped so you have camouflage. And you're going to wait here. You'll see that soldier in the top left, that first one on the farthest left. Once he stops moving, you're going to go up and then climb the ladder. And then from here, you're going to make sure that you lay down all the way down on the ground. You're going to equip your chaff grenade, and then you're going to keep equipping and unequipping by just tapping your right trigger button. Scoots you along quicker here. And then you're going to keep doing it. Don't worry about the floor falling underneath you. Hug that wall. Just keep going all the way across. And then that's going to be that. That's how you avoid getting spotted by those guys. And then you'll shimmy across here. Make sure you stand back up. You get to have a little fun here if you want. You'll have a soldier peeing on you. You know, that introduces a fun little cutscene. And you have all these gun turrets here. I just shoot them. You can use a chaff grenade and avoid them that way if you want. But I just take care of them. You're going to run all the way until you can get inside of the Shell 2 core. If there's any items, I think there you go. There's another chaff grenade, some extra bullets if you happen to need them. And then you're going to aerial over here. And then here you got to jump over the rail. You're going to shimmy along. And then once you have firm footing, you'll aerial back over. So here's gonna initiate another cutscene. So now you have to get the Nikita missile launcher to save the president. So this portion here, again, you get a little bit of room to breathe. Take a breath for yourself, relax, because there's no enemy soldiers. There is a room with gun turrets in them, but you don't have to even go in that room ever. So you got nothing to worry about. Collect any items that may be lying around. Grab yourself the ammunition. And then you're going to go down into the flooded area of the shell to get yourself the Nikita missile launcher. Now, this portion with the president and the Nikita missile launcher, it can be frustrating. It's not meant to be easy for you. And you'll see, I mean, anybody who's played this game, you'll know, like, he'll come inspect this missile that's coming at him, and then he'll run away from it, but he'll hide over by the generator that you have to shoot. So we're gonna swim on over. Make sure you avoid those mines. We got the Nikita missile launcher there, and then I somehow stood up. I know that is an option that you can do. And then from there, you're gonna swim back up to do the Nikita portion to rescue the president. And so you're going to equip the Nikita here. You're going to run over to this area. The president is sleeping, so you're going to shoot with your Nikita missile launcher this wall. That'll wake up the president. And then you shoot your missile. And it does a burst of speed. Now, if he happens to be in the path of your missile, so like he's right there, just kind of shimmy your camera around so you don't hit him. He'll duck and cover. This time he did not go towards the generator, so we're free and clear here. We just got to interact with him. And then we're coming up on our next save and our next boss encounter with Vamp. And that has a fun little cheese with it as well. So you're going to skip all these cutscenes. skip all these codec calls. Spoiler alert, Revolver Ocelot shoots the president. No. Game's been out for over 20 years. If you're a fan of the series, or if you haven't played it yet and you don't know it, I don't know what to tell you. So, President is done. You'll get a couple more codec calls here, a couple more cutscenes. We're going to skip through all those. Now we're going to go back to the flooded area, and now we got to swim through to get our progress of the game itself. And we're going to get to our Vamp boss fight. So we're going to go back down to B1. We're going to go engage ourselves in a true Wetworks mission. And you can pretty much get to the next spot in one breath. You do have these ventilation chambers indicated by the lights on the floor where you can go up to get more oxygen. So if you feel the need to do that, you know, you certainly can. You'll have these mines here. Just make sure you're avoiding those at all costs. You gotta open this door here. You're gonna get another cutscene triggered. That's just where you reveal the dead body of Peter Stillman. You just stick over to the left, or you could go over to the right to get the stinger bullets, whichever you prefer. And then here, you're gonna go ahead, open that door. You'll come up these stairs, and this will be your 4th save opportunity. So at this point, we are at 4 saves. You'll skip this codec call between Otacon. But all of these areas where I saved, I felt like these were the most opportune locations. So you'll do your next save here. As you'll see, I'm at 1 hour and 14 minutes. You know, we're well past the halfway point of the game at this point. So we'll save, and then we'll get ready for the boss fight and moving forward. Alright, and now we're at the point with the Vamp boss fight. You're going to skip all these cutscenes. This has a cheese as well. You're going to start by shooting him in the head. Now, if you can precisely aim at his bullet wounds, you'll cause more damage. But what you want to do is slowly dip yourself off the ledge here in the sediment pool, and you're just going to dangle yourself there. And what Vamp will do is he'll walk towards you, and then as he begins his knife attack, you're going to come up, and you're just going to CQC him. You want to make sure you're staying within his body. Don't do a full CQC. And you'll cause him to remain in this attack stance, and this will do it. Now, sometimes the game, you'll be too far or won't recognize it, and if you do, it's okay. You can recover. You just fall into the sediment pool again, as seen in this video. You'll let him swim around. You have plenty of grip strength, so you don't have to really worry about that. And then eventually he'll come back out. And then he'll walk over to you and try to do his attack again. Now, I tried to stay right in the middle here. Wait till he comes over, does his knife attack, punch him, run away, punch him. And again, you really want to make sure that your character model is inside of his character model. You want to be inside Vamp. I'm sure he'll enjoy that if you know his backstory. That's a little gamer fun, edgy humor. But you'll keep CQCing him, taking your time. You don't have to do full CQCs. You're not going to want to do full CQCs. And you're just going to punch him to death. And that was This is one of the boss fights that I was really worried about on extreme mode before I even learned that this existed. But yeah, you'll do that. She's there. You'll kill him, and then you'll be able to proceed with saving Emma. And this next portion of the game, not too hard. You can go ahead and pick up the supplies that are scattered throughout here if you need them. I always recommend doing it. You do want to make sure too, when you go into this next swimming area, before you go to Emma, you want to make sure that you go and get the body armor. And you'll see on screen here, you'll go all the way down to this corridor, and you'll make this last left. This will get you the body armor that is very important to have in the Tengu section of the game, just to give you that extra protection against those last final boss arenas, so to speak. And now we're up here to go get Emma. Now there is a locker. You have the thermal goggles there, and there is a locker that has a statue, and if you approach it, you'll blow up. So I would just recommend getting the thermal goggles there, skipping these cutscenes, skipping these codec calls, blah, blah, blah. I can't swim, wham, wham, wham. You'll begin your swimming portion. And this first swimming portion, nothing to really worry about. You just go all the way through, and then you're done. Emma's oxygen levels are different than Raiden's. And then I'm going to equip my body armor right away. You'll go through here. Again, you'll have more cutscenes, more codec calls to skip through. So you'll pass all of that. And really the next destination is to get to the Twilight sniping section. And that will be where we utilize our 5th save. Skip all these scenes, skip all these codec calls. And then you'll begin your next swimming section. Because Emma's oxygen is lower, you're gonna utilize those ventilation chambers to get air. So we'll stop at this first one here. Remember, you want to be aware of the mines. Don't run into the mines. Don't cause any more damage than you have to, because you don't want Emma to be hurt at all, especially with the Twilight sniping section. You want her to maintain as much health as possible. And then once we're done in the swimming section, we're going to go back up to the normal floor of the Shell 2 core. And there will be guards on patrol here. Not a lot, and their patrol routes are easy to avoid. You'll call the elevator, and then you're just going to CQC grab Emma. And probably not the most popular thing to do, given the age of, you know, well, we're past the age of Me Too, I guess, right? This is a little grotesque, but I'm for it. We have places to go. You can't walk properly, so we're going to make it go quicker. And so we're going to grab Emma here, and you're going to follow this path exactly. You're going to go straight down, then you're going to go straight across, or to the left, rather, and then straight down again. And you'll see in the reflection on the floor, you should see a guard that just walked by, and that's how we avoid that guard. And we're going to keep on going. We're not going to worry about him. All the way down. We're going to go down the stairs. You're going to get a cutscene here. Doesn't really matter for you. Grab Emma. We're going to walk down the stairs with her. We're going to leave her here in this little hidey area and take out these guards up here. So those guys are now sleepy. We're going to grab her by the hand. We're going to go back upstairs. There is one more guard to be aware of. And he comes out right there. And you can just come right up to him. And, well, my aiming gets a little janky here. I don't even know what I'm doing. There we go. Get him properly there. And then we continue on out. Now this one, I believe there is a little bit of a counting. You want to count a little bit before you go through. Or actually, no, you just do the chaff grenade. Sorry about that. So you're going to launch a chaff grenade. We're going to wait until that explodes. You're going to come out a bit. You'll see this soldier up there. I recommend taking care of him so that he can't see anything. You're going to throw another chaff grenade at this point. Grab Emma. Keep on going. Really, this is the last area where chaff grenades really matter. And so it doesn't, you can be a little bit more liberal like I was. I've certainly just thrown them around because there are gun turrets here. And there is a guard on patrol as well. He'll come up the stairs, but he turns around right away. So you actually don't even have to worry about him. You're going to take out this fire so that you can move through. Now, I've used a total of 3 chaff grenades. That should be more than plenty. There are runs where people just use 2 for the sake of, you know, being extra cautious. I used 3. You're going to skip this cutscene here. There's going to be one more guard. 2 more guards, actually. I'm sorry. You're going to take out that one way off in the distance first. And then that guy, he'll kind of have just a sliver of head there. You can shoot it. But you want to make sure you take out both of those guys before you move forward. And then we're going to proceed down to the sea level of the cores to begin the Twilight sniping section. But before you do that, it will be where you utilize your 5th save. So we're just skip all these cutscenes. Skip all this. Skip these codec calls. It's going to go ahead and begin. And then now will be where you save. Now, I believe I did it in this video, so after I saved, I believe I yeeted myself off the ledge. Or no, you can't eat yourself off the ledge, so I believe I just took care of myself right here. Let's take a look here. Oh no, I shot Emma. So I do want to show something with your game over screen. This is a good point to check, you know, your stats of where you're at. So you got your arm strength, your prudence. That is the amount of saves. So this should be save 5. So we're good there. Ammo used. I'm at 364 bullets. So again, the most bullets you can use is 700. And you want to do the calculations on that, you know, make sure that you're not using too much ammo because you do have to use a crap ton of Stinger missiles during the Metal Gear Ray fight. So the Metal Gear Ray fight, I believe, takes 1, 2, 4, 6, I think 7 Stinger missiles. If you shoot them in the head and then each time you cap them in the knee to do damage on the head for the big damage. We'll just say 8 per ray. And I believe you have to take out 20 rays. So you want to, you know, basically account, you're going to miss stinger bullets for the ray fight. So you want to take into account at least like 200 pieces of ammunition for that fight. You know, so 364 plus 200, that put me at 564. You can't use any ammo during the Tengu sections or in the Solidus fight. So that's a good place to be. You know, if you can get lower than that, that's even better. But at this point, 364, I was worried about cutting it close, and I ended up being just fine. Alert numbers is 1, so that is right on pace where we need to be, because the only time there's been an alert at this point of the game was way back at the tanker section of the game, where you were fighting the Grulukovich soldiers before getting into the tanker holds for the Commandant's speech. Damage amount is 144. There is only a certain amount of damage you can take. It does equate to, I guess I might have forgotten to say this in the beginning of the video, but you can only take the equivalent of, I believe, 8 full health bars of damage. So 144, we're good. We're good there. And the rest of the indicators on there is basically just the coordinates of whatever death or caused the game over screen. Anyway, we're at 5 saves here. We're getting toward the end of the video, end of the big boss run. So now we're gonna go ahead and proceed with the Twilight sniping section. But I did want to show this screen here so you can. It's a good way for you to gauge where you stand in terms of this run. But now we're gonna do the Twilight sniping section. Now, with the Twilight sniping section, there's really not a whole lot to do here except keep your head on a swivel and make sure that Emma doesn't die. So the first thing you want to do, equip your thermal goggles, take a pentazamine as needed. Now, as you run low on ammo and supplies, they do resupply you with pentazamine as well as sniper bullets. So the first thing we want to do is we got to get rid of all these claymores here. And then you got these enemy soldiers, you do have to take these guys out. So that first one up top, you can take him out right away. Just by shooting him, he'll eventually fall asleep on his own. And then you get a little bit of time here to take out these claymores on this last bridge stretch here. So, and the aiming does have to be precise, as you can see. Now there is one that's hidden, so you do have to change your position to get the last claymore. But at this point, there's going to be more of these soldiers here. I'm going to take another pentazamine just to be safe. We got that guy down right there, that guy down, and that guy down. So Emma will be pretty much free and clear. There is one more enemy soldier that will appear later on. We're going to go over, and take care of that last hidden claymore. So you got to make sure you change your position to get rid of that last claymore. Those claymores will instantly kill Emma. There's nothing around that. You also do have the matter of the gun turrets floating around as well. So you do want to take care of those. You don't have to take care of them right away when you first get into this area. The only reason why I suggest doing so is when you do destroy them, they do reappear. So you kind of want to wait so you're not inundating yourself with gun sentries essentially and having them respawn more frequently than they have to. So like that one, you know, Emma's walking around. There's going to be the other soldier that's going to appear here. I'm going to take another pentazamine. We're going to take care of this guy. So now all the soldiers of that particular structure are taken care of. Obviously, you want to minimize your shots here. As mentioned before, you know, you can only have so many shots, so you don't want to go crazy on shooting the gun sentry turrets. You want to try to zoom in on them when possible to try to go for that one kill. And as you see there, I took the last pentazamine, and then it respawned in just by switching screens. So, and then there's the other turrets coming in. Emma's in the clear on this first portion. She's making her way to the next portion. There will be other enemy soldiers that spawn in on the second portion. You don't have to worry about those other guys waking up or anything like that. So you just let her move through. Keep an eye out for the gun sentry turrets. They will sometimes come up behind her from above her, from in front of her. So just, keep your eyes to the sky, looking around. And the thermal goggles are key here. So Emma has been spotted here, and that's okay. And now there's our gun sentry turret. This one I'm taking the 3 pot shots. We got the PSG-1T bullets because I got down to my last bullet. And then we got another sentry here. Take care of that one. And Emma will be pretty much in the free and clear on this other portion. Now, we'll see in the video. I don't remember if another enemy soldier does spawn in on that second stack. I don't believe they do. And this is another one of those portions of the game where it can be annoying because it is it's quote-unquote a longer portion of the game, just because you do have to wait for Emma's progress. Okay, so another enemy soldier does come through, so we're going to take care of that guy right away. Leave nothing to chance. Take care of the enemy soldiers. Just knock them out right away. Don't leave any opportunity for them to or for them to catch and cause more harm to Emma. And here, I'm going to take another pentazamine. Take care of these gun turrets. And right now, I'm just basically shooting rounds off to respawn ammo. Now, you will get a codec call from Snake offering support. You cannot utilize Snake. If you do call him for support, any kills that he gets do count against you. So make sure that you just simply do not call him in for support. Now I'm going to use my last pentazamine here. Put my thermals back on. Take care of this last guy. Emma is on the last stretch of the Twilight sniping section, and this is where you're going to get the second boss fight for Vamp. Now you'll notice that another pentazamine container did not spawn in. That's okay. One does spawn in during the boss encounter, so if you end up becoming concerned and think, oh my god, it's over for me, I can't do it now, it's fine. So with Vamp, the first thing I'm going to do is take the pentazamine container. You want to zoom right in on his head, take your pentazamine, and then I almost mess up and shoot him with an actual sniper. So you're just going to unload on him. You will likely run out of bullets. You go and grab more. You do have time here. If you're shooting him in the head, he's not going to kill Emma too quickly for you. So as you see, I ran out of bullets again, but then plenty of time to grab them, grab a refill, and finish this portion. So now you got to make your escape to help save Emma, and you're going to get a bunch of cutscenes here, a bunch of codec calls, and this is going to really we're approaching our 6th save already. A lot of these saves you utilize towards the end of this game. Equip your BDU for extra camo. if you want to take a look around for supplies, this is clearly what I'm doing right now. You have one enemy soldier to worry about here, so you can shoot him, take care of him. And then there are these stun grenades here. You want to make sure you grab those. Again, the stun grenades are helpful for the Tengu section. So right now, it looks like I have 4 stun grenades. You got a chaff grenade here. You're going to throw that, wait for that to go off. Just kind of hang around, and then you're going to leave. All the claymores at this point should either have been picked up or maybe exploded on you, so you shouldn't have anything to worry about. You're just going to aerial across, get yourself inside of the Shell 1 core. There are no guards, there are no cameras around. There's the claymore that I had forgotten about. Again, you're going to go ahead and... I went ahead, I checked all these lockers. You have plenty of time. Claymore obviously isn't going to help you out. What I'm looking for really is stun grenades. You know, I have 4 stun grenades. I know I'm going to need them. So I'm looking for stun grenades. It doesn't appear that any are in here. We do have more M9 ammo. That could be that was helpful for me too, actually. Let the locker fall, see what else is in there. M4. So we're going to move forward here. We'll check down by this last little spot. Going to press on. Skip all of these cutscenes. Just so many cutscenes, just everywhere. Now you're going to be given an opportunity to save here. You're not going to save here, okay? You're going to click Do Not Save. So we got our first torture sequence. Now this torture sequence is a breeze. This is not difficult at all. Solidus is going to grab you with his tentacles, suffocate you. But again, you could slowly mash this if you want to. It doesn't take much. The other torture sequence later on, that's a different story. But you'll continue to skip all these cutscenes. You'll have an interaction with Olga. Skip all the Kodak calls. Olga here is going to take a cheap shot at you. And you're going to take it like the man that you are. Now it does take a couple moments here for you to be freed. And then eventually you'll get a Kodak call. Skip all this. This is basically where Rose learns about the truth of who Raiden is and his backstory. Cover up your hoo-ha. A recreation of Shadow Moses. A little bit of fun there. The soda can straw hides the wee-wee. We're going to get into Arsenal Gear. This is going to be where we will have our 6th save. So this is where I played it safe. Save here. This is save number 6. So at this point you have 2 more saves. And this is, I mean, I am following the recommended saves based on the guide. So we're going to save here. And now we're going to proceed with the rest of the walkthrough. So we're in the Jejunum. This guy's going to look back and forth. And then you're just going to go ahead and run on through. And you're just going to keep going in this first portion of Arsenal Gear. So reminder, we're at 6 saves. This is where the shit show occurs. Now, there are different ways to attack this portion. This is the easiest route I found for myself personally. You can skip that codec. You can stop here, go into first person, watch the camera, wait for it to pan back. And then you're going to go ahead and proceed over. And you're going to wait for the other Tengu warrior. He's going to complete his walk, and you're going to go all the way through. And then you're going to go ahead and get into the ascending colon of Arsenal Gear. And this is where you're just going to go through and listen to all these different codec calls. And this is just something you have to do. Now there are a couple of cheeses for this portion. And I found a method that works best for me. I successfully did one of the cheeses. I couldn't get the other one to work for the life of me. And you'll see that in the video. So now we've got the codec call. Now we're going to be proceeding here. You're going to skip these cutscenes and codec calls. This is where Snake's going to give you your gear back. You're going to learn how to use the sword. You want to make sure with the sword, it's a couple things. You want to make sure you put your body armor on. And with the sword, you want to make sure you switch that to the non-lethal version of the sword itself. And then here, you'll just run through. You'll practice your swing moves. Takes a moment or two, and then a cutscene will occur, and then you'll be able to proceed with the game. And again, you'll notice the comments from the chat while I was streaming this. So there's our cutscene. I'm going to go ahead and skip all this. Now remember, you can only have 3 alerts, okay? This will be alert number 2. Your first alert was in the beginning of the game, and then this is your second alert. So here, I stayed in the back, and I took out my M9, and I just shot these initial enemies. Couple reasons. You want to mitigate any damage you take. So these first few enemies here, and there's quite a bit of them. I believe it's about 6 to 9 of them. So now I'm going to equip my stun grenade. I throw it at about these containers right here. I pull the pin on the other one. That stuns those guys. I dropped one because I got attacked. I'm going to hit another one. So I had 4 stun grenades. So what you're doing here is you equip the M9, you stand up, you press your body up against this, and you'll see the importance of the stun grenades, right? Snake throws me a ration. I keep getting hit by Snake here. CQC, and as you're about to turn to do your cartwheel kick, it'll glitch you through into the next area of the Tengu warriors. So I've taken damage, and now I have to deal with not having any health. Here, to do this cheese, you're supposed to shoot Snake, and then you come down here with the coolant spray, and you let the enemies approach you, and you're supposed to spray them. And I successfully shoot Snake right away, because you have to do it like immediately. You knock him down, Now, what you're supposed to do, apparently, is get all of these guys bunched together. But it has something to also do with the music. And I looked at quite a few guides. From what I could tell, from what I was doing everything right. Eventually, these other guys will get closer. They all get grouped together. Keeping an eye on Snake. Because if he wakes up, it botches this supposed cheese. So this is what I do, and I do it for quite some time. And I didn't get them grouped enough together, so I tried again. And I'm trying to be careful here, too, because I don't want to kick any of them off the ledge. And at this point, I decide, you know what? It's not working out. It's time to... It's time to move on. So Snake's back up. He starts killing everybody. Snake killing people here does not count against you. So you have that. And so I just decide to take out my blade and I just start stunning people with the sword. I would recommend do not stab anybody with your sword. Doing so, I have seen counts as a death, and even that right there, you saw that guard fall over the rail. I thought he was falling over the rail as a result of my sword strike. I got lucky there, and it was Snake shooting him backwards that caused him to fall over the rail. And then you have the classic glitching out. This is a result of the virus that you put into the game, or the game put into the GW system. And this is alert number 3. So you'll see my ammo used here is 456. My saves were at 6. So in terms of ammo, I'm sitting pretty. You know, you consider add those 200 Stinger missile bullets. That'll still be over 700. I got a comment, slicing the guides with a sword doesn't count as a kill. No, because it's on the stun blade. Okay, you don't understand. So at this point, I'm doing it legitimately here. It takes a few moments. But I would recommend, whichever tactic you try, you know, I thought I did it perfectly. You know, let me know in the comments below on, you know, how I didn't do it right. But yeah, that's all I can say about the particular cheese in this portion of the Tengu section. You know, and now what's unfortunate too is I've taken damage and Snake has thrown rations at me. So now after every boss portion, you'll notice I don't get my health replenished. Because I have rations on me, so the game, it's kind of like the game's own measure of like saying, hey, we're not gonna heal you, you can heal yourself. But we're going through, this should be nearly done. And I may cut a portion of this for the final upload. Or you could just fast forward through it as well, if you're watching the whole playthrough. But this portion does take quite a bit of time. I think it's about, realistically, only 3 minutes long. But when you're doing this, it's the longest 3 minutes of your life. Because you don't want to die, you don't want to kill anybody. And so it's just a matter of like, you know, oh man, will I get through this? Here we go. We should be getting close to the finish now. You gotta be, right? Like, you can't. Can't be going forever. How many Tengus are in this joint? And a lot of these animations, it's so, you know, you see blood strikes as I hit them with the sword. I'm like, is that from me or is that from Snake shooting them? And another thing too is you can watch Snake's motions, watch his movements where he's aiming. So that's it. Remember, we're still only on our 6th save. You still have to get through the Metal Gear Ray fight. And I have that much health on me. By the grace of God, I got through this. Actually, for posterity's sake, I'll just pretty long cutscene here, so I probably could have done that with the Tengu section even. Now I think here I made a save. I used the 7th save here. This is not a recommended save. They recommend to do this after the fight, but I was fed up with the Tengu warriors. I had been at it for quite some time. So I've used save 7 here right before the Metal Gear Ray fight. And then now we got to deal with the Metal Gear Rays. Alright, so now we're on the Metal Gear Ray portion. Now, we're not going to watch me do this entire boss fight because it is long, but I will give you a couple points here. So the first thing I do is I shoot each initial ray in the leg, and then I shoot them in the head. That gives you the maximum amount of damage, and then I do a singular shot to each head, and that's the least amount of damage you can do to them. And then I'll shoot this one here again, maximum amount. This is where they start to spread out. And the key here is to keep moving, dodge the various attacks, and not get killed. So if he shoots those missiles at you from their legs, just aerial out of the way, and then there you go. That's pretty much that. You rinse and repeat, and then don't die. But the key things to look out for, A, is the laser cut. There's the laser cut attack from their mouth, and that's an instant kill. And then there's the bullet attack, and then the missile payload. So all of those are the main attacks. You get yourself into a nice rhythm here, and this boss fight really is not that bad, even on extreme difficulty. It's just, again, kind of keeping your head on a swivel and avoiding those important attacks. Downing them, you have to destroy 20 rays in order to complete this on extreme difficulty. So we will fast forward through this because, as I said, it is a long fight. And then we're going to show right away there's a completion of the fight. And this is where you have your 8th and final save. So this is where I'm going to save. They recommend you to do this at a different portion of the game. I do it here. And then go ahead and quit. Now this is the torture sequence. Now there are rumors where when you're hoisted up in the air, if you look at Snake, it's not as difficult and you won't run out of oxygen as quickly. But I will show something quickly here, I'm using a PlayStation 4 controller as an example. I obviously played this with a PS5. Your action button is your triangle button right here. So what I did was I took my shirt and I just like this with my shirt over my thumb did a quick back and forth motion over the triangle button. For me, that's what worked for the quick succession of button bashing. You know, if you're quick on the draw with just standard button mashing, go for it. But you can see, you know, oxygen goes down very fast. Now, I'm looking at Snake. There seems to be some credibility to the idea that looking at Snake makes it easier. It's supposed to inspire hope for you to live. So there's that. You're going to get a bunch of cutscenes here again. You're going to skip all those. And then you have the final boss fight with Solidus. At this point, I'm at 8 saves. No deaths, no continues. And now we have the boss fight. So you want to make sure you have your body armor equipped and you have the stun blade equipped. You can block Solidus's attacks with L1 if you're using PlayStation. Even those big attacks that I just blocked, you'll take some damage, but not much. The biggest thing to watch out for him, he does his own little grab attack right there. If he grabs you, you know, he'll spin you around and you got to press the action button to mitigate damage. He also has his own torpedo flurry. So it's just a matter of just running around the arena, getting your attacks in, watching out for his speed thrust. So when he does these missile torpedoes, I just fall off the ledge like this. They can't hit you then. And then eventually he will get rid of his tentacle arms after you do so much damage. And this is... sorry for the clearing of my throat. I've been talking a lot of this walkthrough. But it looks scarier than it is. He's going to do a bunch of speed attacks, as you can see. But he'll always give you an indicator of like when he's coming in to attack you. He'll say things like, let's go, or watch yourself. Or he'll do like a rah. And anytime he does those attacks, just back up a bit, avoid the attack, and then go in and get him. Those flurries he usually does them in 3. There's 1, and then he'll do a stab motion there, or a flurry like that, and then you just hit him. But if you are successful, you will eventually defeat him. And then that'll be the end of the game. And then from there, oh, we got somebody joining us for the walkthrough. That's fine. We're at the end of the video here. We can have a special guest at the end. He does his last little flurry. And you also kind of want to bait him. You want him to do those flurries. And there you go. That's the end. So you'll have to watch through all the credits. There's no way to skip all of the credits, unfortunately. So we'll just get here to the stats screen. It'll show my stats momentarily here. These I think you can skip. And there we go. There's the stats screen. My final runtime, 2 hours, 19 minutes, and 4 seconds. This video is not nearly as long, I hope. Saved 8 times, no continues. 3 alert modes, no kills, no rations used. And there you go. you got the big boss rank. And that's it. That is the big boss walkthrough. So follow these simple tips. At this point, you can save. You've gotten the rank, and you will have gotten the trophy unlocked, or the achievements. But you can go ahead and make your final save. Following this guide will get you that big boss rank. It takes a lot of trial and error. I have certainly... It took me, 12 to 15 hours to do the 2 hour and 19 minutes successful run. You're going to make mistakes, you're going to mess up, and it's just becoming familiar with the pattern of recognition of the guard routes, the timing, all of that stuff. But if you do that, you'll get the rank without an issue. But yeah, I hope you liked the video. Let us know in the comments if you find it helpful for you. Let us know if you want to see more videos like this one. I am Rorschach with the Game Reactionists. Thank you so much for watching.